Hey Sunrise, it's Andrew here with your small group questions for this week as we kick off Advent in the Book of Ruth. So as such, we begin with the very basic idea. What are you looking forward to learning in the Book of Ruth? What are some things that you've heard about the Book of Ruth? What are some things you know about the story? And what are some basic questions? So beginning to think through what are some of the ideas that you are hoping to unpack and learn through this study. And in that, we think about it within the realm of Advent. How does the Book of Ruth connect to this season of Advent, this season of waiting for the Redeemer? So how do all these pieces go together as we look into this wonderful book over the next 4 weeks? And so with that in mind, we dive then into chapter 1. So the first thing that we have to come to is, who is the main character of this first chapter? Who are the characters that we're introduced to, and who is the driving force in this first chapter? And then we'll begin to unpack some of those personal characteristics throughout this chapter. Now, as you look into this, what is the importance of the setting to the story? Why is it important that we know that this is during the time of the Judges? What do we know about the period of the Judges? What do we understand as that setting the context for the world that Ruth is entering into, that this story is unfolding in? What do we know about Israel? What do we know about God's work in Israel? What are some of those things that begin to help us fill out what's taking place in our story and the importance of this story looking forward as we get to the end of the book? And so through this, we then see in this first chapter an overall gloom. It is not a positive chapter. As you read it, you see there is this overarching kind of drudgery. There is a sadness to it. But in this, what are some of the bright spots? What is the hope in the midst of darkness in this chapter? And what are some of the important parts of that we can unpack for our own realities? We look forward to the coming Christ. What are some of those things that we see in this text that are so important to us in this Advent season? So a couple things to unpack. What do we understand about Naomi? What do we understand about Ruth? What do we understand about Ophrah in this text as we unpack it? And that will begin to set the foundation for what we'll see in the coming weeks as we unpack the final 3 chapters of this short but so insightful book on who God is, his faithfulness, he as what we will see as our true Redeemer, our true Savior. So hope you'll spend some time unpacking this. There's lots more that can be explored. So take some time, write down some questions as you hear the sermon proclaimed, write down some different thoughts that come to mind. We'll have some great time unpacking these discussions in our small groups this week. Hope you have a blessed day. Can't wait to worship with you guys on Sunday. And then again, unpack some of these great truths throughout the week in small group. See you guys.